is the big awareness that I've had recently, is that for the most part, I stay very focused, like in my lane. I don't look at what anyone else is doing. I don't scroll through my social media feed. I don't do any of that. Like I don't open other people's emails. I have no idea what everyone else is doing because I stay very focused and connected to my soul and what I feel called to do, so that I don't get distracted by what other people are doing. But recently, and I'm not even sure how it came about, because like I said, I'm not someone who like scrolls through social media, but it's when I was down by myself in Arizona, like a week or so ago, I had this moment of like wanting to check in on someone who is a friend and colleague. And I was like, oh, I wonder what they've been up to. And I clicked on something and one of their Facebook lives popped up. And I don't, like, once again, I don't really consume content outside of like books I'm reading or maybe mentors I'm currently working with. And so it was really random for me to consume their content. And I started watching their video and it was great for sure. And I was like, this is exactly the same shit that I say. Not that the stuff I say is bad. The stuff I say is amazing and incredibly powerful and will change your life. But I had this moment of like, what the fuck? This is exactly what I say. And actually, I think I do it better. Of course, we all get to do what is aligned for us and we all speak to different people in a different way. But having this moment of like, I'm pretty damn good at this. And I say this thing as well. And actually, I go this one step further and we go into this as well. And it feels so amazing. And I'm like, holy shit. Did I fall back into the old belief system that I'm not good enough yet to be receiving at that level? Because this person who is a great friend is like, yeah, making, twice as much as me. And it's that moment of like, oh, yes, she just chose more. It's not because she's better. It's not because I'm better. It's not anything. It's not even a better thing. That's not even something that's like comparable because everyone is fantastic at their own gifts, right? Like we all get to release our own truth. But the remembrance and the realization of like, yes, I fell back into the belief, the old pattern again, that the only reason she's possibly earning more is because she must have some sort of secret sauce, like some sort of like secret whatever thing that she puts into her offers and programs. And if I had that secret thing, well, then I too would be making more and in the cool kids club. Anyone else have this? Maybe you're just having this realization as I'm saying this here, that you're thinking about some of the people that maybe you look up to who do similar work than you, that you've had it in your mind that maybe they're somehow better at this, or they've been, like you said, doing it longer. They have some secret thing that's making them better, and that's why they're receiving more money. Anyone feeling this way, or anyone have felt this way? Because I caught myself on it, and then I was like, oh, of course. It's not about any of these things that we've even listed here. It's not even about, let me bring up a couple of them back here. Like even I love that one that who was that? Ashley, that you said about they're walking in their purpose. Yeah, they are walking in their purpose. But here's the thing is like, I've noticed, I'm fully walking in my purpose too. I full on say yes to soul in every moment. I have focus and intention. I feel like what we tend to do is when we see someone who's earning more or having a bigger reach or doing things that we want to be doing, that we almost churn. That was my country. I used to only say churn, like churning butter for turning corners. It took me until I was in high school for like by one of my first boyfriends to be like, that's not correct. So I just slipped back into Eastern Colorado, farming, ranching, whatever. Or my dad's from like Southeast Texas. One of those just came through me. We seem to think that they have the secret thing, but what we do is when they're like making more money or we think they're doing better or they're more walking their soul's path or they're whatever the thing is that we have decided they have and we don't, we then turn the perspective and the judgment back on ourselves. We use it as a weapon. We turn it into a stick to basically hit ourselves over the head with. Well, if you were more focused, well, if you had gotten started sooner, so you'd been doing this longer, well, if you were better, that's a lot of it what it comes down to. If you were more fully walking your soul's path, well, then you too would be making that amount of money, right? That's really what we're saying when we're saying these are the reasons that they're there and we're not, is because they're better than us. And here's the reasons for it. And a lot of times we immediately turn that back on ourselves and use it as judgment to like hit ourselves with. When really all it ever was and all it ever will be, they just chose more. They just chose more. And this can make us slightly infuriated, frustrated, or crazy for a moment because you're like, they just chose more? What does that even mean? Like, what? Like, well, of course I'd be choosing more if it was just about choosing more. Well, but let's explore this a little bit because that is all the more complicated it is simply choosing more. Here's what I want you to consider. We all have baselines, okay? We all have baselines and minimums that we're available for in our lives. It could be having a car, could even be your baseline. Like, well, of course I have a car. Like, doesn't even matter what kind of car it is, but of course I'll always have a car. Or where you live. Your baseline could be that, well, I don't live on the street. Of course. I mean, I don't live in the house I want to live in, but I always have had a place to live. Maybe that's your baseline. Your baseline is in all areas. Your baseline is your health, your weight, how much money you receive. My baseline for ages was that I would never be able to earn over $1,200 a month. $1,200 is what I had worked out to be my monthly budget. And whatever the belief systems were at that point, I would never earn past $1,200. And typically I'd be closer to the like $750 to $1,000 a month. But that was a baseline, right? I also would never, I never would let it drop below $700 a month because that was my baseline. We all have these baselines that we have decided are okay for right now. Yeah, of course we want more, but we would never let it drop below here. Okay? Think about some of the baselines that you have for yourself. And really, the biggest difference between the people who are earning more, doing the work that you might already be doing and want to be doing more so and making more with, is not because they're better. It's not because they've been doing it longer. I mean, even look at me when I came on the scene. I don't know if that's the right phrase to use, but when I came onto the coaching scene, I went from no coaching business to doing some free sessions, to charging $50 for a couple sessions, to charging $500 for a package and not selling any, and then tapping back in and checking in and being like, a $5,000 package is what feels most aligned. In a matter of a couple months, I went from no coaching business, starting a coaching business, free sessions, selling two $50 sessions, and then selling a $5,000 package. For most people, that's like, well, but you need to like work a long time. You need to like get a coaching certification. You need to have this much experience. You need to, well, no, because this whole idea that the person who's worked longer or has been at this longer makes more isn't true. It's just a story. Same thing that the person who is more focused or the person who gets up earlier or the person who's in better shape, like we have all kinds of ideas around what we think is required to be the one who has the bigger reach and who makes more money. But the truth of the matter is, she just chose more. She just decided that that was her baseline minimum that she was available for, and she stayed the course with that, deciding that it was going to be this or something better. So then, what your invitation is to start to notice what are the areas that you're like, this is not okay with me anymore. This income or living here or this car or my body being like this or whatever it is. Notice the things where you aren't thrilled about it and would love to turn up the dial a little bit, and then look at those things and ask yourself, well, what's the minimum that I'm available for here? Because what we get is the minimum. We don't get the thing that we want if we're available for less. That is so important, that line. We don't receive more if we're available for less. We don't receive more if we're available for less. Yeah, you might want to make $5K a month or $10K a month or 30 or 50 or 100, but if you're available to make a quarter of that, that's what you're gonna make. You don't get what you want, you get what you've made a non-negotiable. So look at the things in your life that you're maybe not thrilled with, that you're wanting to turn the dial up with a little bit, and ask yourself, well, what are the minimums here? What is the minimum that I'm available for? Because that's what you're going to receive, okay?